Hi, it's Doug talking about Firefighter Application feature within the Fire Department Online software. After signing into your website, you will be presented with the Firefighter's home page. Your home page will look a little different than what is being shown to you here, as your website will be customized for your fire department. Also, your fire department may not have implemented all options available within the Fire Department Online software. We are currently signed in as a firefighter who can review submitted firefighter applications. Notice the button below Firefighter's homepage stating Firefighter Application has been submitted. When this button appears, it implies that a single non-reviewed firefighter application has been submitted. If we click on the button, a new window appears showing us the submitted firefighter application. The system also marks the submitted firefighter application as being reviewed. At this point, we can print or save the firefighter application form. Once we close the window with the firefighter application form, we are presented with Firefighter Application Submitted Listing screen. If we go back to the firefighter's homepage, the button we clicked on is no longer showing. We have just finished submitting 2 firefighter applications, so the button below Firefighter's homepage stating Firefighter Applications has been submitted. If we click on the button this time, we are presented with the Firefighter Application Submitted Listing screen. At this point, we can select what firefighter application form we want to review by clicking on the View button to the left of the applicant's name. Let's click on the View button for Joe Smith. Once we close the window with the firefighter application form, we are presented with the Firefighter Application Submitted Listing screen. Let's click on the View button for Doug Anderson. If we go back to the firefighter's homepage, the button we clicked on is no longer showing. You might be asking yourself, what happens if I get called away before I can print or save the firefighter application that I'm viewing? You can see any firefighter applications stored on the system by clicking Reporting on the navigation bar. From the Reporting homepage, under Restricted Reports, click on the FF Applications button. We are presented with Firefighter Application Submitted Listing screen. This will be a good time to mention that after consulting with fire chiefs from various fire departments, it was decided that after the firefighter application has been saved to their computer, then the firefighter application form should be removed from the website. We know that a firefighter application form has been reviewed when there is a delete button to the right of the Date Submitted column. Let's click on the Delete button for Joe Smith. We receive a confirmation pop-up showing the applicant's name. If we click on the Cancel button, the system will return to the application listings page without deleting the selected firefighter application form. If we click on the Delete button, the system will remove the selected firefighter application form from the website. We get a confirmation message stating that the firefighter application was successfully deleted. We are now going to discuss the maintenance of the firefighter application form. Click on Administration from the navigation menu. If you scroll down to the card with the firefighter walking towards the fire as shown, you will see the button that says FF Application. If we click on the FF Application button, we are taken to the Firefighter Application home page. Let's click on the Open, Close, or Hide button. Notice that the firefighter application is currently hidden. We have switched browsers to see what the public will see when the firefighter application is hidden. If we click on Local Information from the navigation menu, we will see that a firefighter application card is not shown. We are back as a signed-in firefighter, so let's update the firefighter application feature now by selecting Open Application Submission from the drop-down. Now click on the Update Fire Application button and we get a confirmation message stating that the firefighter application submissions are now open. We have switched browsers again to see what the public will see when the Firefighter Application feature is open. Now when we click on the local information from the navigation menu, we will see an Apply Now button. We are back as a signed-in firefighter, so let's close the Firefighter Application feature now by selecting Close Application Submission from the drop-down menu. Now click on the Update Fire Application button and we get a confirmation message stating that the Firefighter Application submissions are now closed. We have switched browsers to see what the public will see when the Firefighter Application feature is closed. Now when we click on Local Information from the navigation menu, we see the Firefighter Application card. However, there is a message stating that applications are not being accepted. We are back at the Firefighter Application home page. Click on the Update Application Form button. The application form has been broken up into sections, and we will discuss the various sections that you can control on this page. The first section is the address section. Your only option is either to use or not use the address section. The address section is only shown when a submitted application form is viewed either by the applicant or by an authorized firefighter. Here you can see the address section being used. The address section only appears on the first page under the fire department logo. All other pages will only have the fire department logo at the top. If you preview the firefighter application, the address section is not shown, as the preview is what the applicant would see when they go to submit the firefighter application form. We will look at the header section now. As you can see, this header section describes duties and responsibilities, physical requirements, and other details of the job so that the applicant has a good understanding of what will be expected of them. We will update the header section by clicking on the Update Header Section button. We are presented with the header section in what you see is what you get text box. We just want to update the age header. Once finished, click on the Update Section message button. We are returned to the Firefighter Application Maintenance page, where we get a confirmation message that the header section was successfully updated. If we click on the Preview Complete Firefighter Application form, we can see our update. Next, if we close the preview window and click on Do Not Use Header Section, followed by clicking on Preview Complete Firefighter Application Form. As expected, the header section is now not being used on the Firefighter Application Form. However, the header section wording is still available to use by clicking on the Use Header section. We are currently looking at the Firefighter Application Form an applicant would see. The applicant information, education information, and employment information are static and cannot be changed by you. We now want to look at the questions section. Please note that any question used on the form except for the supplemental question must be answered by the applicant filling out the form. Questions can be either a question that requires a yes/no answer or will have a text box to supply the answer. This is determined by clicking on either Require a yes or no answer or by clicking on Require a text box. Supplemental questions automatically have text boxes for the applicant to fill in their optional answer. Currently, the question, do you have any previous training as a firefighter, requires a yes or no answer as being shown. Let's change this so that a text answer is required, and let's add a supplemental question. We click on the Update button under the question we are updating, and we get a confirmation message stating that the question was successfully updated. Now if we look at the Firefighter Application form, we will see the changes. If we don't want to use a question, but still keep the question for possible use later, we click on the Do Not Use question followed by clicking on the Update button. Once we refresh the Firefighter application form, we will see that the question is no longer shown. We will now add a new question. Scroll to the bottom of the question section. Click on the Add New Question button. We receive a pop-up requesting the new question, possible supplemental question, and whether we want a yes, no answer, or a text box for the question. Once we fill in the necessary information, we click on the Add Question button. We receive a confirmation message that the question was successfully added. Now let's scroll down the question section and we see the question we just added at the top of the questions. If we refresh the Firefighter application form, we see that the question we just added is at the top of the questions. Since we want this new question at the bottom of the questions, we scroll down to the bottom of the question section and click on the Reorder Questions button. Now we can drag the question we want to any position where we want the question to appear. In our case, we want it as the last question, so we drag it to the bottom. We then click on the Save button. A confirmation message appears stating that the application questions successfully sorted. Now if we scroll to the bottom of the question section, we will see our new question is now listed last. If we refresh the Firefighter application form, we will also see that the new question that we added is listed last. Now let's delete the question we just added by clicking on the Delete button. We receive a confirmation pop-up and we click on the Delete question. We receive a confirmation message that the question was successfully deleted. If we scroll to the bottom of the question section, we no longer see the question we just added. If we click on the Refresh button of the Firefighter application form, the new question is no longer listed as a question on the form. We will look at the closing section now. As you can see, the closing section is at the bottom of the Firefighter application form and just before the I'm not a robot and I agree to all the terms button. As being shown to you now, the closing section has an Update Closing Section button along with whether you want to use or not use the closing section on the application form. Since these options work the same way as what was shown to you in the header section, I will not go over this again for the closing section. The interviewer notes work like the questions where you can add a new interviewer note. Reorder the interviewer notes. There are only a few differences which I will mention now. Interviewer notes do not have supplemental notes. Interviewer notes do not have the option of not using the note. If you don't want to use the interviewer note, then you must delete the note. With interviewer notes, you can determine whether you want 1, 2, or 3 blank lines after the interviewer note. The interviewed by, date of interview, and what hall should this applicant belong to all have selected to display 1 line after the interview note, where the remarks has selected to use 3 lines. We are currently looking at the interviewer notes, which are only shown to firefighters signed into the system and who have the necessary authority to review submitted firefighter applications. In other words, interviewer notes are not shown to the applicant when they view their submitted firefighter application form. Here we see that interviewed by, date of interview, and what hall should this applicant belong to do indeed have only 1 line after the note, while the remarks does have 3 lines. That concludes the video on Firefighter Application from Fire Department Online. Thanks for watching.